Hello, welcome to Soccerlens TV. I'm Andy Brassel. We'll be going through the best of Europe as we do every week, and there's only one place to start. It's our Clasico between Real Madrid and Barcelona, and really a surprising match. I think a lot of people had their money on a draw. A lot of people I spoke to said a high scoring draw. I went for 1-1. We were all completely wrong. Barcelona showing again, every time they tease Real Madrid closer and closer. They let Real do all the legwork and get up level with them, and then just like that, they're gone, as Kevin Spacey says in The Usual Suspects. And that's what happened again. They really had both Real Madrid, Manuel Pellegrini and the whole Bernabeu crowd in their pockets. Really, the atmosphere really dampened after the initial exchanges, and particularly after Lionel Messi's fantastic first half goal. Another brilliant combination with Xavi, which gave them the lead. And I think it showed the gulf between the two teams in so many ways. I think probably the most impressive part of it, more even than the fantastic partnership between Messi and Xavi. Xavi is in the form of his life at the moment, and he not only set up the goal but set up two excellent second half chances for Messi, neither of which he could take quite uncharacteristically for the little Argentinian. But what was really the most notable factor is how much trust Pep Guardiola has in his players and how much trust they have in him. He went with a surprise selection from the start, playing Dani Alves on the right side of the front three, which was a bit of a shock for most, and Carlos Puyol, who always covers Alves from centre half. When Alves goes charging upfield on his characteristic runs, he played at right back. And Guardiola was wise enough to know this wasn't really happening in the final third at half time. Of course, Dani Alves is far better bombing forward and has the athleticism most of the time to get back, and Puyol to cover him when he doesn't, who's still such a tremendous athlete going into his 30s. But Guardiola had a bit of a reshuffle at half time, moved Puyol to left back, Dani Alves back to right back, and Maxwell further up the field onto the left hand side, and Pedro onto the right, having started on the left. And it worked perfectly, not just because Pedro got through to score a tremendous second goal for them, but it just gave Barcelona better balance, better shape, and Dani Alves into the bargain had a tremendous second half against Cristiano Ronaldo, who was really marginalised. And I think a lot of people are seeing this not quite as curtains for the title, but as just another reason for why Manuel Pellegrini won't be here come the end of the season. I think that's a great shame. He's a terrific coach, but someone who was never going to be allowed to get on with it and do his thing, especially coming from an environment like Villarreal, where he's under very little pressure. It was a much nicer club, if you like, where people would trust in him and let him get on with things, and there were very few political pressures. But his card has been marked from day one, and it seems certain that they'll go on and get a new coach in the summer. Really, this isn't the answer. It's not going to change the intrinsic culture of the club, where so much power is wielded up top. Really, if they were to get a manager like Jose Mourinho, the only way that they would succeed, and I'm not convinced he would, because I don't think he plays expansive enough football for the taste of the Real Madrid crowd or for the club as a whole. He would have to be left to get on with it, which again seems a very forlorn hope. Now, if we go over to France, again, the title has really opened up here. We've been saying for weeks and weeks how incredibly close it is. Well, someone's finally making a break. Marseille became leaders at the same time that Bordeaux and Lyon were battling it out, of course, in the Champions League quarter-final, which saw Lyon get through to that semi with Bayern Munich, the first semi-final in the club's history. Marseille were beating Sochaux to go clear at the top, and they couldn't have had a better weekend to consolidate their position, really. Marseille are okay, Auxerre won, but nevertheless Bordeaux lost. Paris Saint-Germain, a bit of a shock that perhaps, not really to me, because I thought Bordeaux would find it psychologically very hard to recover from going out to Lyon, especially as they put everything into that second leg, and they put up a really good performance too. But nevertheless, you also had Montpellier drawing almost relegation certainties, Le Mans, which shows perhaps that they're struggling with the pressure at the top. And then you had Lyon and Lille cancelling each other out with a 1-1 draw at the Stade Gerland. So now Marseille have pulled 6 points clear of Bordeaux, who have to be their toughest challengers as reigning champions, and having the squad that they do. But of course Lyon are distracted by Europe. So if there's one season that Marseille can finally take back the title, of course they last won it in 1992, they did win it in 1993, but it was stripped from them after the Lancienne match-fixing scandal. So if you look down the list of French title winners next to 1993, it says no winner. So this really is the chance. The last person to lift the title as a player, as captain, was Didier Deschamps. He's the coach now, so there's a certain amount of destiny in him maybe bringing the title back to the Velodrome. Anyway, there's a lot going on in Italy as well, with a change of leader, and finally Roma have got back on top. They've looked like they might catch Inter in the last couple of weeks. Well, finally they had a chance after Inter only drew at Fiorentina, and so Roma had the chance to go top and they took it, and it's a tremendous run for them now. 23 matches unbeaten in Serie A. It's an incredible run. They've done quite a lot of that without their talisman, Francesco Totti. They've really got a new talisman in Daniele De Rossi, the midfield player, really combative, who really wears his heart on his sleeve. He's been a key part of it. But other players have come to the fore as well. Marko Vucinic, as their top scorer, has been tremendous in a lone striker role, which often Roma have played without an orthodox striker, a bit like Arsenal did a few times when they were without Bettner or Van Persie, or in fact anyone else. But it's something that Spalletti perfected at Roma a while ago. Well, Ranieri's not such a fan of that. He's got his one up in Vucinic and he likes it like that. Jeremy Menez, the young Frenchman, has come to the fore as well, often linked with a move back to his homeland, but he's been doing a really great job. He's got that bit of creativity, that bit of pizzazz, that bit of spark that they really need in the final third, especially when Totti's not there. And it's difficult to see who are back against Roma at the moment. Of course, now they've taken the lead, you could argue that pressure's on them. But really, I would argue the pressure's on Inter as the reigning champions. They've got this huge match against Barcelona to come up in the Champions League semi-finals, and that must be dominating their thoughts. And that really is the big one for them, the Champions League semi-final. I had a brief word with Roy Hodgson yesterday, of course former Inter coach, and he said how much he hopes his old club will go on and win it. And if they beat Barcelona, he really believes they can do it, and I think that seems to be the general consensus in the game at the moment, that if they beat Barcelona, yes, they will be able to go on and lift the trophy. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, full domestic programme in a lot of the leagues this week, England, Italy, Spain, so I hope you enjoy all the games there. If you've got any questions for me, please tweet them to me or leave them in the article below here. Enjoy your week's football, and I'll see you again next week.